Now on Newsday TV, dangerous cold and some snow. We're tracking the latest impacts as we head into the weekend. It is Friday, February 6th. I'm Doug Geed. We'll get to the weather in a moment. First, this story. The accused drunk driver charged with killing an off-duty Nassau County police officer is set to face a judge for the first time today. 20-year-old Matthew Smith of Hauppauge expected to be arraigned today in Central Isa. He is charged with DWI after police say he ran a red light and smashed into Officer Patricia Espinosa's car in St. James, killing her. This happened last Saturday while she was on her way to work. Hundreds attended Espinosa's funeral yesterday. Boy, look at that scene. A former Valley Stream assistant high school lacrosse coach has pleaded guilty to sexual exploitation of children. 21-year-old Joseph Robert Garofalo coached at Valley Stream Central High School. Investigators say he blackmailed dozens of children into sending him sexually explicit images. He's now facing up to 24 years in prison at his sentencing. The longtime superintendent of Mineola Schools has resigned. The school board unanimously accepted the resignation of Superintendent Michael Nagler last night. He was suspended after being accused of violating the district's ethics code by creating an educational app without the school board's approval. A case of tuberculosis has been detected at Bethpage High School. The superintendent told parents yesterday that a person is receiving medical treatment. The district didn't indicate if the infected individual is a student, teacher, or staff member. Long Island's Christmas Queen is getting ready to help kick off the Winter Olympics tonight. Greenlawn's Mariah Carey set to perform at the 2026 Milan Cortina Winter Olympics opening ceremony. That is tonight in Italy. Several events, including curling, snowboarding, and alpine skiing, will have begun before the ceremony. Winter Olympics. So maybe Mother Nature's trying to get us in the Winter Olympics mode with all of this cold.
Yeah, and you were telling me off camera before, Doug, every time you see me now, it's snowing and it's cold, right?
It's like
3 weeks in a row.
It's incredible.
It is.
Really.
Sometimes the atmosphere has a tendency to get locked into these cadences, these rhythms, and it's unfortunate when it happens to fall on a weekend. But this one, a little bit different than our last two scenarios. Of course, last week didn't wind up being much of anything, but the extreme cold, these bitter blasts, one after another after another. Yesterday was a pretty nice day. We had full sun, we had light wind. We still didn't get to freezing, but that's okay. We'll take it. 31 degrees is a lot better than, say, 21 degrees with some of those single-digit wind chills. But normally, today, we should be around 40 degrees. We do not have any 40s in the extended forecast here, folks. So the cold remains as we take a look outside this morning. Numbers right around 20 degrees. Again, the wind is very light. So I'm not even going to show you the wind chills because they're not that bad. You know, only a few degrees colder than the actual air temperatures, but they will become a very big factor as we head into the weekend. We may start with a little bit of sun today, but clouds quickly increasing throughout the day. It'll be mostly overcast. Again, those temperatures about the same as yesterday, right around 30 or so degrees. Watching for those snow showers to begin tonight. If you have dinner plans and you go out and you see some flurries, I wouldn't be too alarmed, but the earlier you can pack it in, the better, because the snow will be picking up a little bit as we go throughout the night. Cold weather. We had a cold weather advisory last week. This is even more extreme than what we had then, so much so the National Weather Service is issuing a extreme cold warning for all of Long Island. This is for wind chills as low as 15 below zero, folks. Not 15, 15 below. So here's our sat rad right now, clouding up out there. A little bit of sun this morning veiled through those clouds. This is our clipper right here. Clippers are notoriously small snow yielders. They only give about an inch or two, an inch or three. That's it. Slightly different scenario this time around that we're keeping a very close eye on here, although I think it's going to be more so impacting coastal New England. But we'll watch for the east end here. Watch how this cold front swings through. It sort of amplifies. It turns into this trough as we get offshore here. And you can see kind of that snow mirroring the very narrow nature of that trough. Where these inverted troughs tend to set up can be very localized high amounts of snow here. So we could be looking at, only a couple of inches across parts of Long Island. Meanwhile, you go up to, say, Newport, Rhode Island, you could be looking at 4 or 5, maybe even 6 inches. Look at that. And that's some heavy snow right there, those darker blues as the trough enhances here as we head into the Saturday time frame. Maybe grazing the east end, so maybe out towards Montauk, Amagansett, Orient Point, you could be looking at an extra inch or two. But I think for the most part here, this is a general 1 to 3 inches for the island. Unless that trough were to back up to the west here, and again, we'll continue to keep a very close eye on it for you, maybe seeing a little bit higher than that in some of our Twin Forks communities. As we move forward here, it's the wind that becomes the issue here, and this reinforces the cold because the air mass coming in behind the clipper is very cold to begin with. We're looking at the potential for 40 to maybe even close to 50 mile per hour gusts here for a short period of time. I think there's going to be a window of about maybe 6 to 8 hours where we can see those highest wind gusts heading into Sunday morning here, and they start to lighten up after that. But the damage is done, so to speak. Look at these wind chills. Saturday night, about 10 below, 15 below, maybe even getting close to 20 below. Not out of the question some of the communities across the island could encroach upon those, again, ridiculously cold wind chills out there. Please, this could be dangerous if you're not bundled up appropriately. Hypothermia, frostbite, things that come into play here. So it could be very dangerous cold. Just please bundle up best you can. Obviously, very big day Sunday, a super Sunday, if you will. Today's highs right around freezing. Again, it's better than it's been, but we're still about 8 degrees below average. Tonight, 22. We'll see those snow showers beginning as early as, say, about 8 p.m. or so, picking up overnight and then tapering off tomorrow. And then it's windy as we head into the afternoon. A high of 25 will feel more like 15. And then those overnight lows down around 0, wind chills negative 15 or less. And then at least we have sun. And also, look at the temperature trend here as we go through the 7-day forecast. 26 on Monday, 32 on Tuesday, and we are back above freezing. That is not something I've been able to say in a little over, say, 2 weeks. But we are watching for our next round of potentially snow, maybe wet snow. It depends on the temperature, but we will keep you posted on that as we head into Wednesday of next week.
Long Island weather is brought to you by PTRC.
All right, only in Newsday on this National Wear Red Day, our Elisa DiStefano catches up with some stars who are helping to support women's health.
Go red for women. I'm Elisa DiStefano on the red carpet at an iconic event with a whole lot of heart. I hear your cheering section is here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I don't go anywhere without it.
You look fantastic. Red is your color. All understood the assignment tonight.
That's right.
We got the memo.
The Red Dress Collection concert brought stars on the red carpet and the runway to raise awareness for women's heart health.
Women in particular, it's not something that people talk about. We don't know to look out for the symptoms, and it sneaks up on you.
She was there for me. I had a heart attack and I had a quadruple bypass.
She's one of the reasons I'm here.
Yeah.
Between the stent being invented by American Heart Association and Dr. Schlafbitz saving my life with those stents, I am lucky to be here.
It's just about showing up, and just to be here with so many people who overcame so much in their own ways, you feel right at home.
My number one message is that heart disease is every woman's number one risk.
Please do not dismiss your symptoms. Please listen to that inner gut when you know that something is wrong.
80% of all cardiovascular disease is avoidable by just lifestyle changes, and I've learned that as a survivor.
Going to the doctor and finding out what your cholesterol and your blood pressure is.
Yes.
Because it just could be genetic.
You know what they say, right? She's not really a doctor. She just plays one on TV. But she has a lot of good advice for all the ladies out there.
I really think it's important for a lot of younger women to be made aware of that information so we could do something today about our tomorrow.
I hope that they do put themselves on their to-do list and they take good care of themselves. There's only one you.
All right, good information there. See more exclusive content like this on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. It's a restaurant phenom with a social media savvy owner who has a knack for landing celebrity stop-ins. Erica Marcus takes us behind the scenes at Ropke's in today's Feed Me TV.
everybody knows you. Everybody knows Ropke's. You know, you're out there on social media. You do a ton of videos. And I was thinking, well, what can I tell people about Ropke's that they don't already know?
Number one is that none of our name is Ropke's. My dad, no one in my family, my dad bought it in '78, kept the name, slowly started introducing some Italian-American dishes from the Bronx.
So this was Ropke's, that bar and this grill.
Well, they had a real charcoal grill back in the day.
This was the size of the kitchen.
Essentially, yes.
Amazing. At Ropke's, steaks and burgers are cooked on a grill right behind the bar. The actual line, which handles pasta and the rest of the menu, happens in a cramped 150-square-foot kitchen. Everything happens here?
Everything happens here.
That is mind-blowing.
Everything you see out there happens from here to here.
All these famous athletes that come in, how did that begin?
A couple agents came here to get food. 2 weeks later, who walks in? Darryl Strawberry.
Oh my God.
2 days later, Doc Gooden.
I think every other restaurant I know has a point of sale system, a POS system.
We do it all old school. These guys have pens, they have pads in their pockets, we take the orders by hand, we call them in, and that's how we operate.
So unquestionably the most famous dish here, pork chop martini.
It's a rib pork chops, pounded out thin, flour, egg, breadcrumb, ready for the frying pan. A little stock.
Okay.
We got a little fresh lemon juice, a little red wine vinegar. We're gonna add a little bit of butter to thicken it up. We put Parmesan cheese, we let it cook a little there, and then we put it under the broiler and it forms like a crust.
Now we eat.
Here we are.
Oh my God.
The finished product. Pork chop martini. And here are the Italian potatoes that we make.
Oh. For Newsday TV, I'm Erica Marcus. That's a fantastic dish.
That is a very popular place. For more on Ropke's, go to Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Democrats across the state are converging on upstate Syracuse to decide who will get the party's nomination to run this November. Of course, at the top of the ticket is Governor Kathy Hochul. So what can we expect to happen at that convention? Joining me now is Newsday TV political analyst, my colleague Joy Brown, also Larry Levy, way former Newsday colleague, now the executive dean of Hofstra University's National Center for Suburban Studies. All right, Larry, let's start with you.
Sure.
What do you expect to come out of the convention?
Well, the Democratic Party, particularly compared to the last gubernatorial convention in 2022, has the proverbial political wind at its back. So the big challenge for the party is to try to either make it blow harder, keep it at least as hard as it is, and avoid having it go the other direction. So they're going to do everything they can, particularly this governor, of maintaining a moderate position. The challenge is going to make sure that there isn't some huge political food fight between progressives on the left and moderates. And it's something that Long Islanders should really be looking at, because we have a preponderance of these moderate swing voters who maybe they won't determine who wins this election, but they're going to determine who wins a lot of other elections.
Okay, and Hochul's presumptive opponent on the Republican side, Bruce Blakeman, the Nassau County executive. So Long Island, the governor has to really try to woo those voters here in Nassau and Suffolk.
She absolutely does. And they started out pretty early at the Long Island Association breakfast, 1,300 people, and there were stacks of delivering for Long Island on the table. Governor Kathy Hochul delivering for Long Island. And in this 4-page document, she talks about public safety. She talks about giving money to local police. She talks about gun safety protection. She talks about affordability. She talks about state tax cuts, a child tax credit, getting rid of taxes on tips, I should say.
She talks like a Republican.
Absolutely. And on education, she's talking about how she gave more school aid, and she's expanding she wants to expand free school meals.
So you're saying it's a political public agenda?
Oh, absolutely. It's a political public agenda.
It never, election years are when the political and policy converge in a way that politics always wins.
Right.
There's no question about
that.
Absolutely.
Little controversy is possible.
And when you look at her list here, of course, some of these things are in direct response to her presumptive opponent, Bruce Blakeman.
Right.
Public safety, right? She kept us safe. Affordability. This tax on tips thing is taking on a life of its own, or no tax on tips.
And taken from Donald Trump.
Absolutely. And, he criticized her after her State of the State address, saying that she had done nothing. So what she's got here is 4 pages of what she's saying is something.
Right.
Larry, you talked about trying to solidify the Democrats and that, progressive wing and more center. First of all, how do you think Hochul has done in that battle? Now you also got a wild card there in the New York City mayor.
Well, judging by all the things that Joy was talking about, she's certainly trying hard. Her approval rating is above water, as we say. She is leading Blakeman. It's really early for these numbers to mean anything close to finality, but she's 30, 40 points up. She's 50 points ahead of her Democratic primary challenger. So whatever she's been doing, certainly in the last 6 months, has been working for her. The question is, will it keep working?
The left wing may be unhappy with Hochul, may or may not, but they also have to be careful too, because they're going into an election that could have some pratfalls for them. So are they going to behave? Do you expect a lot of kumbaya after the convention?
Oh, I never would predict anything. I mean, we're going to see. We're going to see what we're going to see. But the one thing I do expect out of this convention is that we're going to hear an awful lot about Bruce Blakeman and Nassau County. A lot about Bruce Blakeman.
Sure.
I think that we're going to hear about Bruce and the speeches that are given. I think that we're going to hear about Nassau County in terms of he says he's got a safe county. She's kept the state safe.
Right.
But as to your question in terms of the moderates in the party, there's also something that's going to come up probably. Jay Jacobs, he's the Nassau County Democratic Party chair. He's also the state Democratic Party chair. He has put forth something that the delegates will vote on to reform ICE. Now, this probably is he's looking at that progressive part of the party that wants to abolish ICE.
The 2 words I think you're going to hear most at the convention, the Democratic convention, is somebody who's certainly never going to be on a Democratic ballot and isn't going to be on this ballot at all, which is Trump. And the other word you're going to hear, as Joy alluded to, is ICE. Just like when the Republicans meet in Garden City in a little while, you're going to hear Mamdani,
right,
and of course Hochul.
Interesting year for sure. We got the midterms, we got county legislatures, and of course the governor race. And for all your in-depth coverage on the issues that matter Long Island, stick with Newsday TV and Newsday.com. See more on all these stories on Newsday.com and watch us streaming anytime on Local Now, YouTube, and the other services you see here. I'm Doug Geed. Enjoy your weekend, bundle up, and be careful. More news straight ahead.
Newsday investigates the story of 2 brothers brought to the U.S. as children who were deported by ICE last May with no criminal record. From Long Island to El Salvador, desperate to return to their American lives. Deported, now available at Newsday.com.